of Delaware Economic Development, and this event is to highlight a great company that came before the Delaware Economic Development Council office and before the Council on Development Finance called SentryLight. And I am pleased to announce that because of the efforts of this company and because of the efforts of those organizations, DEDO and the CDF, that SentryLight will be increasing its production and assembly of their innovative products here in the state of Delaware. Now, in a few moments, Governor Jack Markell will tell you a little bit more about the state's investment in SentryLight. You'll also hear more about the company and its plan for its future growth. But before we begin, I'd like to take a few moments to recognize some of the invited guests that are up here to my right and to my left. First, someone who really needs no introduction to my left is Governor Jack Markell. Governor. We are also pleased to be joined to my immediate right with Mayor Jim Baker of the City of Wilmington. To his right, yeah, his right. Right? No, somebody said left, but that's to his right. Thanks, don't confuse me. This has been a long day. To his right is City Councilman Steve Martelli. Steve, pleasure to have you here. And let me see who else. Brad Bennett, State Representative from Dover, who has a keen interest in business. Pleasure to have him here as well. Representing the congressional delegation, Bonnie Wu is here from Senator Carper's office. Bonnie. And Jeff Dayton from Congressman Castle's office. Jeff. Now, I'd like to recognize the owners of SentryLight, if I can, first. Brian Corbett. Brian. And Adam Lillian. Did I get that right? Okay, I'd also like to give special thanks to Dennis Stappolito, who is the Executive Director of OCI in our Now, also in our audience, I'm proud to look around and see so many supporters and friends of SentryLight. Why? Because it's not those of us in government who are ultimately going to improve our economic future. It's because of people like you, the business owners, the leaders and entrepreneurs who will make it happen going forward. You will make it happen with your innovative ideas, much like those we have with SentryLight, with your hard work of your employees, and with the success of your business models. Ultimately, the health and vitality of our economic future here in Delaware and clearly around the world will lay with your efforts and your accomplishments. We're proud to support the company's goals, and that support was made possible by Governor Jack Markell. Now, Governor Markell has been recognized in Delaware and across the country as a leader in promoting policies to help all people achieve their economic potential. Now, capitalizing on the governor's business background, the Markell administration is focused on growing the state's economy and making Delaware government more effective and efficient. While the administration may face historic challenges, today's announcement is evidence that he is committed, and we in that administration committed, to acting quickly to grow the economy of Delaware, to create jobs, and to protect our taxpayers. It's now my honor to introduce Governor Jack Markell. Governor.
Thank you, Alan. And Alan is great about giving credit to everybody else, but usually doesn't take any himself. And I just want to say what a fantastic job Alan and the entire team at the Economic Development Office are doing in creating and building the economy of the state. So if we can please hear from that. Well, this is a great event, and it's an interesting event because to combine this idea of business development and a Delaware company that's growing and creating jobs, an entrepreneur with vision, and working with just an absolutely terrific organization, OCI. This is really an absolutely, it's a great idea, and I think either of these on their own would be great events, but to be able to combine them and to see this partnership is extraordinary. And I'm delighted to be here to help to celebrate the expansion of SentryLight, and specifically SentryLight was recently awarded a loan of $300,000 from the Delaware Strategic Fund. And what that's going to do is help the company acquire critical inventory of its concealed emergency light design. And the fact that SentryLight is partnering with OCI, what that means is it's going to create production, increased production and assembly opportunities right here. Now, as Alan said, even in the midst of these, or especially in the midst of these historically challenging economic times, our administration is very much focused on creating new opportunities for jobs. And I believe that by supporting innovative businesses like SentryLight, we're supporting the health and vitality of our local communities, we're creating jobs, and best of all, the win-win here is that this product is in the business of saving lives as well. And it doesn't get much better than that when you have Delawareans working in good jobs with at a good company doing important work. What I like about this story also is that it started because one guy had an idea, and that's how most good businesses get started. And I know that Brian and his team have made significant personal financial investments. They've committed themselves to hours and hours of sweat equity to make this idea a reality. I know it wasn't easy, and when SentryLight turned to the state for help, I'm proud that we were able to support his efforts. And earlier, he introduced me to his, I can't remember, maybe you referred to them as your assembly team?
Yeah,
the chief assembly team, Brooke and Gianna, who are, I think you guys told me 10 and 8 or 10 and 7?
10 and 7.
10 and 7. Well, you guys have done a great job. You look fantastic today.
Thank you.
You can keep filming. And I know that it's been a partnership between all of you as well as with Kristen. You know, to me, a business like this, which is focused on innovation and which is built around innovation, is exactly, it is true to our state's long tradition of innovation, and it also represents exactly where we want to take the state going forward. And I know that the mayor shares that view and the importance of sort of innovative companies right here in Wilmington, and as does the councilman and Representative Bennett, and throughout the state of Delaware. So in my view, this is exactly the kind of company that we want to support and we want to help move forward. And again, this idea, I think the idea for this partnership started with Brian reaching out to OCI, and OCI is an organization that I know well because of the great partners we have working in state government, but probably a lot of people in the community don't know as well. And we are just thrilled. And I'm just wondering, any of the OCI, anybody here, who here is from OCI? Well, we just want to say to all of you, thank you so much. So between you, combining this new, how long has SentryLight been around?
Well, it started in 2001 as the idea,
Right
after
after
9/11, and it's now progressed to 2009 where we're at today.
Well, that's great. So to have this idea founded on one person's vision, and I think the fact that Brian is a firefighter and I guess probably thought about this in the context of 9/11,
Yes.
sort of what it means to be a firefighter, and here we are now, 8 years later, the vision, execution over a long period of time, lots of sweat equity, all the difficulties of starting a business, but getting to this point where you're really poised to expand and working with a terrific partner like OCI. That's what it's all about. Great story. I'm really proud to be here.
Thank you, Governor. Now I'd like to invite Mayor James Baker to say a few words. You know, since the mayor's first term in 2001, the city has seen marked new and expanded business developments throughout the city and continued development of the city riverfront. Mayor Baker, it's a privilege to have you here. It's a privilege to have this company here in the city of Wilmington and doing so much to contribute to its benefit. So, Mayor, if you can